Good day, community, and welcome to episode 261 of the weekly recap. As Rick is busy with Veeam in New York and few other matters, I decided to actually ask my awesome community members to join me for this episode. And of course, you also see a new face in here in the yellow room from Prague. Uh, Welcome, Karolina.
Hello, everyone. I'm just a newcomer who joined last week, but I joined as a community analyst. So I'm happy to see you here and join this recap. Thank you for invitation, Madalina.
Absolutely. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the recap. And guys, you're going to see Carolina more often from now on. So that's good news for everyone. And also, I have Luis and Jos. Thank you for accepting my invite. And I know you are from uh, guests that are repeating to the recap. You are not new to this show. But for the ones that maybe are watching the recap for the first time, let's just have a just short introduction. Luis?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Luis. I am the Veeam user group leader for Spain and also a Veeam legend. Thank you so much for the invitation, Madeline.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Yes?
Hi, my name is Jos Madi. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm already 5 years part of the Veeam 100 as a vanguard, and I love to help you out when Rick is missing. We're gonna
Yeah,
rock this episode.
yeah, that's for sure. We are gonna have some fun in here. And talking about fun, I want to actually ask Carolina to tell us a fun fact about herself because this is her first time in the recap. This is only her second week, with the community team with Veeam. So what better way than just sharing some good fun stuff with our community members.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it for a long time, but decided to choose this one because as I'm based in Europe, among my friends and my family, I'm pretty known as a person who constantly looks for like good flight deals. And basically, I'm planning all the traveling because it's relaxing for me, and I'm truly serious about it. It relaxes me to seek for like really good deals, for flights and just traveling. So
Yeah.
that would be it.
Fun fact, and fun fact, I think we are sharing that. So that's cool because I also like to do that and plan trips. So that's good to know that we have something in common already. But
True.
yeah, thank you all for accepting my invite. And as you said, Jos, we're gonna rock this one because we have a lot of good content to share today. So why don't we just start with our first article that we picked for today? So that's gonna be one about recovery gap, and that comes from Nico. I think this is a very interesting article that actually was discussed as well. I don't know if you all watched Vimon. It was online, it was in New York as well. So I don't know if you all watched it, but this was one topic that was kind of discussed about the recovery gap. And just to comment on this, I think, many organizations feel very confident when it comes to their backups that they think they are green, and follow the 32110 rule. But the successful backups don't automatically mean successful recovery. This is a point that Nico is making in this article. So Nico highlights the recovery gap, which is basically the difference between having backups and actually being able to restore systems when it really matters. And he talks about how tools like Shore Backup and recurring disaster recovery testing are essential to prove that recovery truly works. So I think this is very interesting topic that was selected. So now I have a question for you, Jos, but of course, You can just tell us your opinion in general about the topic. But my question would be, do you see Shoreback used mainly as a checkbox feature or part of a real recovery validation strategy? What do you think?
Yeah, it for sure is a checkbox item, but more important is to leverage the actual restore test, right? Because making backups isn't very useful if you can't recover. So if you have everything in place, doing the backups, all your attention, your storage design and stuff like that, and then you start making your backups, but how do you know that you can recover from it? So it's very important to test them once in a while. And like I said, if you have everything in place, this is only a small step extra to configure it and make use of it. So I'm a really big fan of this topic. I know Nico is a big promoter of this feature in Veeam, because he also presented it some time ago at the Belgian user group, and maybe I believe he had another blog post about Sure Backup some time ago. So it's a big refresher, and I like the article he wrote with all the bullet points. So it's a step-by-step way to get over the topic. So it's a very useful feature, and don't forget to implement it. And
yeah,
in the near future, the VBR is the default solution, of course, but the Veeam Recovery Orchestrator and Veeam One will be more like the default setup for more organizations. And if you want to start with a recovery orchestrator, this is a very important feature to have in place before you start with the recovery orchestrator. So very useful.
Yep, thank you for that. And yeah, I agree with you. He's really a fan of this topic. He's been writing a lot around the 3-2-1-1-0 rule and the recovery gap. So good stuff. I do like the topic. I think it's important. And I'm going to move actually to Luis now and also ask him a question. During the DR tests, what are the most common issues that teams are surprised by? What do you think? And also just give us an opinion on the topic.
All right, then. It's a great question because normally, as Josh said, a sure backup on the 3-2-1-0-0 rule is very important, but it has some dependencies on this because it's not just your backup or your sure backup, but missing passwords, missing documentation, procedures, DNS dependencies. There are a lot of stuff that can go wrong. So you better check it out. Sure Backup is a great opportunity to check those backups and that you have the storage and the information on it, but also you need to make sure that you're able to replace everything and put everything in place after an attack. It's not just the info, it's not just the data, it's also everything that it goes around that data.
Yep, that's correct. It's a good point in there. So yeah, thank you both. I think good points and fantastic write up, Nico, in there. Super aligned with what Veeam is trying to address as well lately. So I think we are in a good place. And moving forward, we have another interesting topic. This one comes from Tommy. This is like a real customer story. Basically, it's something that he experienced, and these ones are one of my favorite stories. Really like those. And what Tommy is doing here, let me just go because I'm still on Nico's one.
Exactly. I was about to tell you that. But
Yes. Let me move to Tommy's one. Okay, we have Tommy article. So what is Tommy doing in this one? He's walking us through the real world migration where the customer basically had no access to the hypervisor and couldn't rely on traditional replication in here. So his team choose Universal CDP via Cloud Connect to achieve a low RPO. Along the way, uncovered multiple technical and operational challenges. So this is something that I want to address with you, and I want to ask you some questions about that. But I think the key takeaway from here, from this article, is that migrations without hypervisor access are possible, but they require deep testing and a fallback plan. So let me just ask you this. First of all, tell me your opinion on this article. What are your thoughts? But as I said, I would like to discuss a little bit about the unexpected issues in here, and like storage policies, naming, rebots, metadata errors. So I want to ask you: is this typical of complex migrations? What do you think?
It's more complex than most people will issue, I guess, because it is a new kind of use case for me, to be honest. I did some migrations within the same data center to other hardware or maybe different locations. But this one is quite interesting because it's going from a cloud service provider to another private cloud environment, and you don't have hypervisors access, and that's quite interesting. And in fact, it's becoming more interesting as part of an exit strategy with the provider you're using. So, yeah, it's a really good article with the choices they make and how they achieve the solution at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of details in there. I love that. Also, Luis, let me move to you and just tell us your opinion on the matter, on this topic. But also, if you had to just, boil this whole experience down to only one lesson for service providers, what would that be?
Hmm. First of all, Tommy, my friend, good life. How you doing? Um, I think it's great, and he resumed pretty well the lesson learned down below at the very bottom. But for me, resuming this whole article in one word, it'll be test, test,
Mhm.
test, and test. Is never enough. Just test it and have a plan A, B, Z until Z, and start with numbers, no matter what, because if you don't have access to the hypervisor or different tools or different options, you are shrinking your options and anything can go wrong. And you don't have the ability to have some surrounds or have some extra plans. So as I said, test. This is the
Mhm.
only way. Take some machines, take some stuff, try different ways, ask your customer and test. Even though before you move anything else, test and always have a plan B and always be able to revert what you have done. Not to be in the middle of a problem and not being able to, okay, let's go back and we will continue tomorrow.
Mhm.
That's
I
my.
think that's a great point, Lewis. But I want to challenge that a little bit. Like so many teams, they don't really have enough people in their teams that are doing the backup, and you all been there, and you
Yeah.
didn't have enough time, so you have to prioritize. How do you balance all that out and test, 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 test? How do
Oh,
you?
it depends. If you are able to take the risk, you take the
Mhm.
risk, of course. But I do prefer to win some time on test. So when we put something on balanced, you say, okay, how much does it weight and how much does it risk? So
Mhm.
you need to balance that and play a little bit around. It's not the same if you screwed up a dev application server that is just
Mhm.
DevOps or whatever, or you're playing around moving a Active Directory machine or a
Mhm.
file server. It's quite different. So it's you need to play with some balance. But in my personal case, I test as much as I can, and I always raise my hand and talk to my manager. Say, "Hey, we need to do this, and these all the constraints for everybody to be aligned."
Okay.
So
That's
avoiding surprises. You only have surprises, of course, but the less
mhm.
you have, the better you leave.
Mm-hmm. Yours, were you ever in a position where, because you had other priorities or you didn't have the time, and you didn't test enough, you got in trouble?
That's always a risk, right? And I like what Louis said about test, test, test. But sometimes, especially in smaller companies where time is limited and you have to take care of everything,
Mm-hmm.
testing is more difficult. So it is really important, but it depends on the organization, of course. And if you don't have time, look for a partner or some help who can do that and has experience. Like in this project, they reached out to the organization of Tommy, and they helped them out with the right expertise.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you cannot avoid every risk, but testing is important.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's I think that's a good takeaway from this article and from this conversation. Test, test, test. Even if you don't have time, just do it. Okay. Let's then move further to our next article that we picked for today. And that's about hardening Veeam v13 SSO. And this comes from Raghu. He is a system engineer at Veeam. And I do believe this might just be the first time we are actually mentioning Raghu's name. And I think this is great. Welcome to the recap. Welcome to the community. Hopefully, we're going to see you more often in here. And this piece of article was pretty good from my point of view. What he's talking, as I said, he's discussing the SSO in Veeam v13 and the concern of connecting backup infrastructure to a production Entra ID tenant. And the challenge in here is balancing central identity and ease of access with domain isolation and zero trust principles. And Raghu proposes a layered approach using MFA, 4Is, PIM, conditional access, just to keep backup secure without actually sacrifice your usability. So I think this is a pretty important topic, and a long one.
Mhm.
And I would like to ask for your opinions. I'm going to start again with yours, and I want to ask you a question. Does SSO automatically mean less isolation, or is that like an outdated assumption? What do you think?
Oh yeah, that's an interesting question, to be honest, because a long time ago, everyone put their VBR server in the production domain, and everyone was connected with all the risk they were. And it's always a balance between security and usability, right? So you want to have it secure as possible and separated, segmented as possible, but on the other hand, it must be you must do your work in a certain amount of time, and it doesn't must take a lot of time to get access to the resources before you can do your work. That
Mhm.
will not be very effective. So it's a difficult decision what the right solution will be for your organization again. Single sign-on can be useful, but like it's written down in the article, everything is important, right? MFA, multi-user authentication, stuff like that. Least privilege account, so don't give everyone admin permissions. And if you do it that way, single sign-on can be secure. but
Mm-hmm.
it needs to have some thinking on forehand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you're never secure enough, right? So use as many
No,
tools
no,
as you
no.
can. Yeah. So I think this is a great approach in here. I like it. And Louis, let me also ask you one question. Which of these layers do you think actually makes the biggest difference in real life? Let's see.
This article and this
I
topic,
know all,
mhm,
but
this
let's pick one.
article is something that we can get into really deep discussion, but I'm gonna be missing a pint or maybe something else.
Mhm.
But my opinion, layer one, as he explained here, is basic, is a must. You always need at least that initial layer of security. A layer two is a huge improvement, but as Josh said, it depends how complex you want your infrastructure to be, and also how deep do you want your production environment to be hitting on your backup infrastructure. I've been trained, or yeah, I'll say trained many years ago, that the separation between the backup and the production should be huge. Never connected to the domain, never connected to the production domain, never connected to the storage. Then that movie has changed a little bit, and we are really fans of integrations, single sign-on, but at the same time MFAs and many things. So it depends on your organization. It depends on your team, on what you have inside. And but as I said, layer one is basic, is a must. A layer two is a huge improvement, but it depends on where do you want to be and the balance between the usability and the risks you want to take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, this is his takeaway as well. If we look at, the last
Exactly. But
line
as
in
I said,
here.
a
Mm-hmm.
pint must be the point here. A bar,
Mm-hmm.
a pint, a peanuts. That this is a great topic for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Great stuff in here. Thank you, Raghu, and looking forward to, see more from you as well. Um, it's I think it's time to move to the Vanguard blog spotlight. And let me just change the screen. Just to let you know, guys, I'm a little bit slow with changing the screen today just because it's also my first time using this new tool. So, like Rick last time, he was also playing with it. This week is my turn, but we are getting there. So, the Vanguard blog spotlight comes from Ian Sanderson, and I think I really, really liked this piece of content. Very good written, long one, also talking about different layers, but you know, I think it has a really great perspective that I must say I agree with. And what Ian is doing here, he argues that, traditional data protection layers, connectivity, security, recovery were actually designed for humans, not AI. AI is, he says, is now a tenant in the environment, reading, writing, and acting on data with speed and scale we didn't design for. So I think that's a statement in there. And then Ian suggests AI needs to be treated as a fourth layer, AI governance with clear ownership and boundaries. So I'm very curious. Before I go to my questions, I need to really ask you, what do you think about this article? I'm going to start with Louis this time.
Right. I think it was really interesting. And as you said, AI, it is part of our lives now. It's part of the organization. And nobody thought about it until it was too late. So, governance, as you said, human beings are being governance for quite long. We know how to protect data, how to get rights, how to move it back and forth. But AI is a problem. This super fast, this invasive, I would say. It can go anywhere. And even if you haven't think about it, I got scared when I asked Copilot or something, and he's reading on my notes. I said, oh, I forgot about it, and he's putting something right on top of the table that it was mine stuff or someone else's stuff. So I think it's a must, but people don't realize how big it is and how complex it is to get this up on and
Mhm.
running. Little
Mhm.
organizations have access to huge tools if you pay just for the usage. So how do you control that? How do you limit that? That's the big question. Because now everybody can access it. It's not just for big companies having huge budgets and huge infrastructure. Anyone can use it, even on your phone, laptop, anywhere. It's just AI everywhere. Everywhere. Everything is AI powered. Even a pen doesn't matter. Everything is AI powered now. Everything is connected. That's my little opinion, my little piece.
That's a great point in there, Louis. I would challenge something that you said, but I'm gonna just move forward because I don't want to get into politics in here and conspiracy theories. One
Ooh,
question: do you think most organizations even realize how much AI already? Because we are talking a lot at Veeam as
no,
well about that, right? So,
no, of course not. Of course not. I know a lot of people that you ask them, yeah, I'm copy pasting on Chat
okay.
GPT, this and that. They say, what? You are exposing data. Some time ago, I got a huge advice, and it was a great sentence from a friend of mine. He told me, if something is free, it means it's free because you are the product. So everything you put on top of any free AI or whatever, you are training that AI with your data and you're giving up your data. So people don't really realize how exposed that we are. So no,
Point there.
put that on ChatGPT. Just paste that on ChatGPT and he will do that for you. Okay, but what is the price? No, it's free. No, it's not. You are paying the price. So that's my personal opinion without getting into politics or without getting deeper into any other type of experience. We can do that in person next summit or whatever, but it's a great
Yeah,
topic. But as I
for
said,
sure. For sure,
people don't
because
realize,
otherwise it's never gonna end that
right,
discussion.
but
Because
people
I
don't
know there are
realize
a lot
how
of
exposed
opinions.
we are. And as I said, how easy it is. You just need a internet connection and a web browser. And that's it. So
Mhm.
how do you cut that off? How do you limit that? Even though you have the
Good
greatest
question.
firewall in the world, train
Hmm.
your stuff. That's it.
Yep. Good question. Okay, I am moving forward with that, and I'm gonna ask Jos the same question. What do you think about this article? And then I do have one question for you.
What do you like about the article? Everything, because it's something new to me. To be honest, I don't use it so often at the moment, except for the things Louis said before. But it gives me the idea that it's an operating on a different level, right? So it goes through your data, and I believe it was mentioned in the article. If it has access to your backup data, it will also go through your history. So the data that you removed before is still searchable through your backup data. So it needs a different way of thinking and approaching how you're using it. So yeah, it will level out in the future, I guess. But I don't. Most people don't understand what it is and what it will do with your information.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. So my question is, what's the one AI related risk organizations are most unprepared for in this moment?
Oh, the risk, yeah, it's the predictability of how it's being used and where the results come from and where the results goes to. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the total scope. It's I don't many people understand the reach of AI.
I think that's a
It's
great
being used
point,
for
actually.
everything, right? Yeah, it's being used for everything.
Mhm.
Like cyber criminals are using it to enter your organization, for example. How they can come
Yeah.
in and how do they get to your crown jewels and make abuse of that. So it's insane.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. That's why going back to Raghu's blog, I think that's even more important with all the, AI development now and in the future. So good stuff. I think everything comes together. But yeah, let's move forward to our next topics, which are, to our next topics, which are more events. And that's our special department news, where Karolina will help me go over this section. And we have here, like, for next week, I think a good list of events that are happening, Veeam user groups in different regions, but also some thematic groups that are online events. And I'm going to start actually with, um, let me just put it here as well, line it
Take it
up.
easy. Take it easy. You will get there.
There you go. We're going to start with the Women and Allies in Tech event that happens next week, from support to leadership. Carolina, why don't you tell more about this event that's
Sure,
happening next
sure.
week?
Definitely, we have a couple of events looking forward to for next week, and from support to leadership is will be an event where one of our colleagues, Daria Pilat, who is a team lead at the Veeam technical support, she will tell us about her journey, what it took her, what were the challenges, and several also turning points to get to the leadership role. And I believe that this is really worth checking out for everyone who maybe were ever thinking whether it's the right place for them. So just join us and figure it out.
So this event will take place May 19th, which is next week
Correct.
on
Yes.
Tuesday. And Carolina is going to be there. I'm going to be there. So just you still have time to register. Join us for a super cool conversation on, professional development. Thank you, Kira, and thank you, Daria, for putting this together. From virtual event, we are moving to an in-person event far away from where we are, and that's in New Zealand.
Oh,
Tell us more about this
Yeah.
one,
we
Karina.
we travel across the globe for this one, because
Yeah.
this event takes place in New Zealand. It's in person and it's on 21st of May, so next Thursday. And this session is more like a chill out session, I would say, more informal ones, just for everyone who are Vim fans, would like to connect with each other, maybe just exchange some ideas. And I'm a person who believes that in this kind of environments, like, best ideas come up. So feel free to join and just soak up maybe some sun, and meet new colleagues, and yeah, exchange your views.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that, Carolina. This is going to be organized by our Veeam user group leader in New Zealand, Jason. Thank you, Jason, for putting this together. And I'm sure both Louis and Jos can confirm what you just said, that, the best conversations are at the Veeam user groups with a beer, with some smiles and with good people.
always.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, cool
and
stuff.
making new friends.
Making new friends. And I know you are actually, Jos, preparing one for Vim User Group Netherlands as well. I think that's going to
Yeah,
be in June, right? I haven't put that on the
Ooh.
playlist because it's not next week. We're going to have it, but just because we have you today here, it's worth mentioning. So
yeah. We go to
that's
a very nice location, so
Nice.
we're looking
so
forward
yeah.
for everyone
All
to meet.
everyone that is in Netherlands should register for that. So Pretty cool. Okay, moving forward from New Zealand, we're going back to Europe. We're going to Finland.
Yeah, this
Another
time.
great in-person event.
Yeah, this time something for sauna lovers, I would say, but I just double check that it's on agenda as well. However, this will be as well like Vim user group meeting organized in Espoo at the Life Science Center, and I know that the speaker will be talking about the security AI. So definitely interesting topics coming through this, and feel free to join. And it's funny because they all takes place on the same day, so 21st of May next week, so you don't have to worry to remember the date, because everything takes place on Thursday. So check it out and join us.
Yeah, for sure. So if you just go here to register, there's gonna, open up the registration page. I haven't opened it up, but if you just click this button, you're gonna be able to go fill out your details and register. You still have some time until next week. If you are in Finland, around Helsinki area, especially, all the good reasons to go there: good food, good people, sauna. They do that, beers and sauna. So that's a good way to
Sounds
do user
dangerous.
groups. I know, I know. Uh, I was there. I couldn't do it because everyone participating in was just like a masculine, uh, you know,
Oh
people.
man.
So I couldn't go do the sauna part, but I envy everyone a little bit for that. But Az that is gonna be there from our team, he's gonna take part of the awesome after Veeam user group activity. So that's pretty cool. Just wanted to thank as well Miko and Vil, our Veeam user group leaders in Finland for that. And yeah, looking forward to hear more on that. Moving from Finland, we are going to, I believe, a virtual event this time that comes from Automation Desk. Tell
Ooh.
us more, Karolina.
Yeah, and just to surprise to everyone, it also takes place on 21st of May. So,
No way.
don't worry about your memory of these dates. At this time, it will be focused on Vim Grafana dashboards, where you will be able to find out more how it integrates with Vim environments, but also like key dashboard features, metrics, and as well real cases from the community. So I believe that it's great opportunity to find out more and just test it yourself, maybe have some questions.
Absolutely. And this is going to be great. We're going to have Jorge as a guest. So he always knows his good stuff about Grafana. He's a huge fan. So he's the person to go to when it comes to this topic. And thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Jonah, for putting this together. Looking forward for it. Both Carolina and myself are going to be there. Hopefully, Luis,
Yeah.
yours, you're going to be there too,
Oh,
joining
I'll
us.
try to.
Yeah.
too many stuff going on 21st. So,
Yeah, I know. 21st is the day. It seems like
may-
everyone just picked that day.
right.
So
Maybe I will check out the recordings afterwards.
yeah, or maybe
Yeah.
maybe you go to New Zealand or to Finland.
That
Who
will
knows?
be another option. Yep.
So
The
near
exchange
from
program.
sauna.
So many choices, Louis.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. Okay, that would be all from the special department news. Quite a lot of things going on in the Veeam user group and thematic groups world. And one last thing on our agenda is actually welcoming the new members we have for this week, plus 131. Welcome, everyone. And Safia prepared for us the coolest usernames. Thank you for that, Safia. We have Interfelix, Just Notify, Bubbles Art, Sparks Cody, and Alfred Speak, which I think is very, very cool. The Diet Chalupa. I really like how it sounds, this one. So fun.
Well, a
So
Spanish speaker is so much fun.
most probably this sounds like it, right? So
It does.
yeah, pretty cool. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the group. Hopefully we'll see everyone engaged And other than that, I just want to thank the three of you for accepting my invite, today. And I hope you had some fun. I hope you learned some good information as well. Um, and yeah, we'll see you all next time in episode 262.
Thank you so much for
Thank you so
having us.
much.
Thank you.